Hey, I'm Jim, and welcome to Understanding Upstate, the podcast dedicated to exploring what makes upstate New York such a unique place. Each week, my co-host, Rob Adler, and I dive into a new upstate topic to better understand what's up upstate. And today, we are taking a dive into the aquatic highway known as the Erie Canal.
That's right, baby.
We're swimming in the canal this week, dude. Before we dive in, though, before we put on our floaties and get into the water here, there's something you need to do, Speedy Freaks, and newly joined Speedy Freaks as well, is subscribe, rate, and review our show, and share it with a friend. Hell, share it with an enemy. Who cares? You know what? Send it over to your worst send it to your worst nightmare. Whoever. Just tell people about the podcast. Put a 5-star review in Apple Podcasts and let us know your favorite upstate location or person in the review. And of course, know that it can't be me. That's not fair. Rob, how you feeling, man? What's going on?
I'm feeling good. I'm really pumped for today's topic. I have fond memories. This is I'm gonna go somewhere with this. Trust me.
Sure.
But I have fond memories of learning about the Erie Canal in grade school. Where,
okay.
I don't know what teacher I had who hyped us up for the Erie Canal, but they made it seem like such a goddamn big deal because it was at the time.
Sure.
And then just never thought of it again until me and my wife or girlfriend at the time, now wife, we were driving to our first trip up in the Adirondacks, and we saw a little signs like, "You are crossing the Erie Canal." I was like, wait a minute, I'm what? Oh my God, here? Now?
This is happening to me?
Yeah. And then it all came rushing back to me like I was a boat in a lock waiting to go up to the next level of the canal. I was just like, oh my God, I remember so much from that unit in third grade.
Well, I do want to say shout out to your third grade teacher for making this very exciting for you, because that is what an educator does, is they take a topic that some might not find very interesting.
That's true.
Right? Let's be honest. There might have been someone in that third grade class who was like, you know what? Fuck the Erie Canal. I don't give a fuck about this thing.
That's true.
I am in the Midwest. Why the fuck do I need to know about this in upstate New York?
That kid was a real Panama head, you know?
Probably was. Yeah, he wasn't ready for this upstate business.
No.
But your third grade teacher said, you know what, kid? I'm going to make this fun for you.
Here's to you, Miss Burns.
Shout out, Miss Burns.
I'm going to send her a Speedy in the mail. It's just as a
cooked or uncooked? How do you want to do that?
Both. You know what? She did so much for me. I'll give her the option of both. You know.
Oh man, listen. I feel like you're paying it forward.
Yeah, I'm paying something.
Or would that be paying it backwards? Right? Because I think it'd be paying it backwards. But I
think either way we need to rebrand the phrase give them their roses to give them their speedies, right?
Yes.
I think that at the end of the day that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, we want our flowers. Well, I want my speedies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, listen. It's time, right? It's time. Let's get to the canal. The Erie Canal is what I speak of. Here's a little background about the Erie Canal. Erie Canal is located in upstate New York that runs east to west between the Hudson River and Lake Erie, which, if you know upstate New York, that is quite a distance. That's a long, and we're going to talk about how long it is very shortly. But yes, that's a long distance. Now, it was completed in 1825, and the canal was the first navigatable waterway connecting the Atlantic Ocean to the Great Lakes, vastly reducing costs of transporting people and goods across the Appalachians. Now, in effect, The canal accelerated the settlement of the Great Lakes region, the westward expansion of the United States, and the economic ascendancy of New York State. And you don't really think about that when you think about the impact, right, which we'll talk about later. But, yeah, this really was something that took the United States, was one of the ways to usher in arguably not the best thing in the world if you're if you're Native American. But if you think about it from a historical context, this was a really big moment in terms of how the United States became what it is.
Yep.
Now, it's been called the nation's first superhighway. How about that? Now, the construction of the Erie Canal was a landmark in civil engineering in the early history of the United States. When built, the 363-mile canal was the second longest in the world. Also another thing I didn't know, and Speedy Freaks, now you know it too. And this is right after the Grand Canal in China. Initially 40 feet wide and 4 feet deep, so if you wanted to walk across it, hey man, have at it. The canal was expanded several times, most notably from 1905 to 1918 when the barge canal was built and over half the original route was abandoned. The modern barge canal measures 351 miles and 120 feet wide and 12 feet deep. Don't recommend walking that. Don't do it. Now, the Erie's peak year was 1855, a Gilded Era, when times were different. However, this is when the canal was living. 33,000 commercial shipments took place. It continued to be competitive with railroads until about 1902, when tolls were abolished. And we'll talk about the economic impact that the tolls and how much money this thing actually brought in. Commercial traffic declined heavily in the latter half of the 20th century due to the competition from trucking and in 1959 opening of the larger St. Lawrence Seaway, which is very nice. If you get a chance to go up to the St. Lawrence River, highly recommend it. The canal's last regularly scheduled hauler, the Day Peckinpah, ended service in 1994.
Oh, okay. Not so long ago.
Just a blink back in time.
Well, let's dig into next how this canal was dug, right? Kind of the foundation of how this plan came to be.
You know what, Rob? I can dig that.
Wow. This is early on. We're like in the first 10 minutes of the podcast. There's much more of that to come. Don't worry. So this is, and I think this is, again, I fucking love the Erie Canal. This might be my favorite part of the story because its origins are unconventional, one might say. So the idea of a canal to tie the East Coast to the new Western settlements was discussed as early as 1724. New York provincial official Cadwallader Colden, say that 5 times fast, made a passing reference in what was a report on fur trading to improving the natural waterways of Western New York. Later on, a flour merchant by the name of Jesse Howley had envisioned encouraging the growth of large quantities of grain on the western New York plains, which were then at that time largely unsettled, for sale on the eastern seaboard. However, he went bankrupt trying to ship grain to the coast. Basically, he'd taken out all these loans to buy the grain, and his plan was dependent on being able to get affordable transportation for this grain, and it just couldn't happen at the time. So he went to debtor's prison in Canandaigua. Did I say it right? Canandaigua? I know that. Canandaigua. That's come up a few times, I believe. Our own Danny Wegman has a residence there, or at one point had his main residence there, right?
Yes, it is a suburb of Rochester, right. In fact.
Well, one Jesse Hawley was there again in debtor's prison, and I think he was there for a pretty good stint, if I recall. It was at least over. I think it was close to a year or over a year. he had a lot of debt because he couldn't sell any of his grain, right? So while he was there in debtor's prison, he wrote a series of letters / articles that would then go on to be published, and I think it was the Genesee, one of the Genesee newspapers, and it was this elaborate plan for the canal. When people look back at it and review kind of his original proposed plan, this guy was arguably a failed businessman who had no engineering experience, no civil engineering experience. But it's a marvel how well he researched and planned this from an 1800s debtor's prison, which I'm sure didn't have a fucking library, right?
Sure, right.
He had a lot of time on his hands, and he fucking put it to plotting out the Erie Canal. So this is published, and he began pressing for the construction of a canal along the 90-mile-long Mohawk River Valley with support from Joseph Ellicott, who was an agent for the Holland Land Company in Batavia. Ellicott realized that a canal would add value to the land he was selling in the western part of the state, and he later became the first canal commissioner. New York legislators became interested in the possibility of building a canal across New York in the first decade of the 19th century. Shipping goods west from Albany was a costly and tedious affair. There's no railroad yet, and to cover long distance from Buffalo to New York City by stagecoach, it took 2 weeks.
That's a while.
It's not a short trip in a car.
No,
stagecoach.
It's about 8 hours by car from Buffalo to New York City.
My word. So building canal would have been it would have been a massive endeavor, but also been this huge benefit, right? And it would be, get this, expensive to build even today, right?
Yeah, well, you're making a man-made waterway.
Yeah. And then putting in the locks, and it's not even just making a long ditch, right? It's making it so boats are navigable in it, and it's pretty amazing. So eventually, President Thomas Jefferson called it little short of madness and rejected a proposal at that time.
Well, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, man. Come on.
It's
all right. It's all right. Our buddy DeWitt Clinton, and that's his first name is DeWitt. Capital D, capital W. It's a great first name.
DeWitt Clinton.
But good old DeWitt Clinton, who is governor of one New York state, became interested in the project. And there was a lot of opposition to this. The project was ridiculed as Clinton's folly and also Clinton's ditch. Also, guys, call it DeWitt's ditch. How common is the name DeWitt? And then use alliteration. Come on.
It's going to roll off the tongue a lot easier. I don't know why. I mean, you can't.
Just give me a time machine, and I'm going to be coining phrases left and right.
I mean, head on back there, dude.
All right. Well, in 1817, though, Clinton received approval from the legislature for $7 million in construction, which, I mean, $7 million in 1817 money. That's got to be.
I was thinking the same thing. That's got to be probably hundreds of millions of dollars.
I was going to say it'd be like if we said, I got a budget for $50 bajillion. I'm like, that's fake money, sir. That's not a real number.
Well, we definitely looked up Rick James's cocaine expenditures during the during the 80s and 90s.
I can take a hint. I'm looking it up. 7 million.
Let's see what that is.
Inflation calculator.
Yeah, what do we got here for 7 mil?
Oh, no, it only goes back to 1913.
Oh, well, that's bullshit.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I can tell you, in 1913, that was $200 million. So,
right.
Let's. I'm gonna say it's close to $2 billion. Like,
yeah, I feel like that is money that would like bankrupt like a small country several times over.
Yeah, and this is from an inflation calculator from like the U.S. Federal Bank, and they only have inflation tables that go back to 1913. So. You know, I'll trust them.
I'll trust them. I mean, look, trust the government, man. You know what I mean? They're not.
Hey, if they're building me a canal, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, they're usually trustworthy. Now,
sure.
let's get into the construction, right? So we got the plan, right? We got the proposal, we got the plan. Now, how will we build it? Okay. As we were saying before, the original canal was 363 miles long from Albany on the Hudson River to Buffalo on Lake Erie. Now, the canal was cut 40 feet by 4 feet, 40 feet wide, 4 feet deep, with removed soil piled on the downside of the hill to form a walkway known as the towpath. So we're not just building a canal, we're building the walkway next to it. So we've got a lot of shit going on here.
Because they would have donkeys walk alongside, and
right?
Pull the boats. So, which, have you ever had that the treat of that experience?
I've never
being towed by a donkey in a boat.
Can't say in the 42 years of life that's ever happened to me.
Well, as long as they're still doing it, the next time you're in our nation's capital. There's a canal. There was like a major canal system in D.C. There's still like a little part. You can go on a nice little boat ride and get towed around by a donkey.
I mean,
it's pretty great.
Listen, ain't America great?
Yeah.
This is it. We're not getting better than this, folks.
No.
Now, its construction through limestone and mountains proved to be a daunting task, as one could imagine. To move earth, animals pulled a slip scraper, say that 15 times fast, similar to a bulldozer. The sides of the canal were lined with stone set in clay, and the bottom was also lined with clay. And the canal was built by Irish laborers and German stonemasons.
That's a lot of clay.
That's a lot of clay, and that's a lot of dirt, and it's a lot of tilled soil, if you will.
Yeah.
Now, the men who planned and oversaw the construction were novices as surveyors and as engineers. So this was a real just first time, best time, right?
Yeah, wow.
Because there were no civil engineers in the United States. We didn't have these.
Wow.
Didn't have any of that going on. So James Geddes and Benjamin Wright, who laid out the route, were judges whose experience in surveying was in settling boundary disputes.
Wow.
So that's the best. That's what we got. Geddes had only used a surveying instrument for a few hours before his work on the canal. Yo, can you imagine building a landmark and being like, well, I got a little bit of practice on it.
Yeah, I'm good. I took it out back, like, I had one afternoon with it. I think we can do this thing. We're fine.
Oh, so the flight's leaving from New York to Atlanta? Well, just give me like 2 hours or so. I'll figure out how to fly this thing. We'll be fine. Yeah. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah.
Now, Canvas White was a 27-year-old amateur engineer who persuaded Clinton to let him go to Britain at his own expense to study the canal system there. So this is very much flying a plane and building it at the same time.
This is crazy.
Yeah,
fuck Oppenheimer. I don't want to Jim, hot take. I saw it. Boring movie. I want the movie about the Erie Canal. All the fucking antics that went into that shit.
I mean, it's worth a shot. I mean, listen, they made the Rock'em Sock'em Robots into a movie, so Anything is possible is what I'm trying to tell you, Rob.
Excuse me, they did what? There's a Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie?
Yeah, there's a movie, like, it's, like, based on, like, the Rock'em Sock'em Robots, and there's, like, a robot that's, like, a person, like, it has, like, a personality.
Is this Chappie?
Oh, I don't know the name of it.
It might be Chappie. Either way, I'm intrigued and had zero interest in ever seeing Chappie, if this indeed is Chappie, which I believe is the name of the robot. But now I might go see it.
Well,
so sorry for getting really excited about a Rock'em Sock'em Robot movie. We can go back to the Erie Canal, which I assure you I'm much more excited about.
Now, there's another key player involved in this. Nathan Roberts was a mathematics teacher and land speculator, which, what does a land speculator do? Speculates land, guys. That's what it is.
That sounds like a speculation on your part.
It is, and I'm really shooting from the hip. Now, construction began on July 4th, shout out to Independence Day, 1817 at Rome, New York. The first 15 miles from Rome to Utica opened in 1819. So in 2 years, we have gone 15 miles. At that rate, doing the math, the canal would not be finished for another 30 years. And this posed to be a huge problem. The remaining problem was finding labor. Who's going to do this? And we find out very soon. Increased immigration helped fill the need. Many of the laborers working on the canal were Irish, who had recently come to the United States as a group of about 5,000. Most of them were Roman Catholic, a religion that raised much suspicion in early America because of its hierarchical structure. And many laborers of the canal suffered violent assault as a result of misjudgment and xenophobia. Wow. Now, here's the thing. There are people who are here building your canal. They're doing the thing that you've asked them to do, but you're like, you know what? Fuck y'all. I don't like you. And it's like, but we're building the thing you want us to do. But
yeah, I guarantee you any of the people that were unhappy with their presence didn't want to pick up a shovel and dig a fucking ditch themselves.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, fuck all of you. I mean, anyway. So, construction continued at an increased rate as new workers arrived. When the canal reached Montezuma Marsh and at the outlet of Cayuga Lake west of Syracuse, it was rumored that over 1,000 workers died of swamp fever, also known as malaria, and the construction was temporarily stopped.
Jeez.
However, this is a big however, recent research revealed that the death toll was likely much lower, as no contemporary reports mentioned significant worker mortality, and mass graves from the period had never been found in that area. So, liars. You're lying. Work continued on the downhill side towards the Hudson, and the crews worked on the section across the swampland when it froze in the winter.
Oh my god. They had to wait for the swamp to fucking freeze to... Okay. Like, Jim, if you and I were proposed with the task of planning a 300-mile canal, because, you know, like, we're podcasters.
Sure.
You know, like, we can stretch our accolades to be like, yeah, I'm a amateur engineer. I'm a sound engineer. I can, you know, right? Like,
yeah, just drop sound off there and you're good to go.
Do you think that they stumbled upon the wait till the swamp freezes to build that section idea, or it was like a happy accident, or they had the foresight to plan that out? Because that's a really great question. Wild.
I feel like it, you know, given just the slipshod nature of all of this, I feel like it's like they've built a case of just like happy accidents occurring or just lack of foresight, right?
Yeah.
So I would hazard to say that this is probably like, oh shit, it's frozen. Let's do that.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so. I can guarantee you, I never would have thought of that in 1,000 years. Like, oh, it's winter, we can't do shit. Also, I don't know how to get through this swamp. I guess the canal's done.
Well, yeah, we didn't think of winter, but
Yeah.
here we are.
Hey, speaking of the canal being done, let's go to our next section and talk about how they completed it. In 1824, before the canal was completed, a detailed book called The Pocket Guide for the Tourist and Traveler Along the Line of the Canals and the Interior Commerce of the State of New York, which is about as long a title as the canal is long itself. This was published for the benefit of travelers and land speculators. The entire canal was officially completed on October 26, 1825. The event was marked by a statewide grand celebration culminating in a series of cannon shots along the length of the canal on the Hudson. A 90-minute cannonade?
I think it's a cannonade.
Sure, I'll take your word for it. From Buffalo to New York City. Wow.
Well,
wow.
That's a celebration, and that's a lot of sound.
Yeah, my God, that's 300 miles of cannon shots. That's hey, they don't celebrate like that anymore, do they?
No. I mean, I feel like it's now more online, more digital.
Sure. I was going to say, can you imagine if they open a new highway and all right, well, let's pull out all the tanks and we'll have them all shoot a shot?
Well, I feel like when Trump was president, he wanted to do some fucking some odd $1 million military celebration and send jets in the sky and shit like that. So
I think he had a little tank parade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yay, speaking of super cool, there was also a flotilla of boats. It was led by none other than Governor DeWitt Clinton aboard the Seneca Chief, which sailed from Buffalo to New York City over the course of 10 days. Clinton then ceremonially poured Lake Erie water into New York Harbor to mark the wedding of the waters.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cute. It's just real cute.
It's cute. That's adorable.
On its return trip, Seneca Chief brought back a keg of Atlantic water, which was poured into Lake Erie by Buffalo's Judge Samuel Wilkeson, who would later become mayor. I think we can probably attribute that to the keg of Atlantic Ocean water.
Yeah. And a keg?
Yeah.
Wow, that's an undertaking.
Jim, I'm telling you, I fucking love this story. There's so many weird little tidbits. It's delightful. Well, the Erie Canal was completed in 8 years at a total length of 353 miles at a cost of $7.143 million. So equivalent, hey, look at that. It's in our notes. Equivalent to $192 million in 2023, which, wow. Inflation, I guess, just didn't really occur for 100 years. Because, again, that was what we figured out it was worth in 1913.
Right.
Almost. Crazy. Anyway, we're all learning so much today.
Yeah.
It was acclaimed as an engineering marvel that united the country and helped New York City develop as an international trade center. Which I think is a great jumping off point for us to get into the impact of the canal. Kind of what consequences, not consequences, what benefits do we see?
There you go.
From the canal.
And there's several fronts of the impact, right? So there's a lot of different ways in which the canal made an impact. First, we'll talk about the financial impact, which we alluded to a little bit earlier at the top of the pod, if you will. The Erie Canal greatly lowered the cost of shipping between the Midwest and the Northeast for obvious reasons. bringing much lower food costs to eastern cities and allowing the East to ship machinery and manufactured goods to the Midwest more economically. To give an example, the cost to transport a barrel of flour from Rochester to Albany dropped from $3 before the canal to 75 cents on the canal. Now, I'm not sure what kind of flour they're talking about, but if it's the flour that you use to make bread, great. If it's the flour that is also known as cocaine, wow. What an interesting fact.
Hey, what a boon for Rick James to have a real, just a streamlined entry point into Buffalo.
Yeah, just ship that powder along the canal, baby, and we're in business. Now, the canal also made an immense contribution to the wealth and importance of New York City, Buffalo, and New York State. Its impact went much further, increasing trade throughout the nation by opening eastern and overseas markets to the Midwest farm products and by enabling migration to the West. The Port of New York became essentially the Atlantic home port for all of the Midwest. Because of the vital connection and others to follow, such as the great railroads, New York would soon become known as the Empire State or the Great Empire State. So, there's that.
Yeah, and I was going to say, that's, I think, probably why I learned so much about the Erie Canal, because having grown up in Minnesota, there's a huge port in northern Minnesota on Lake Superior, the town's called Duluth. These huge ships come in there not through the Erie Canal anymore. But yeah, that's a major shipping port. And there was having the Erie Canal is, I'm sure, integral to, as you said, the growth of Midwest cities as well.
Sure.
Which is cool. Way to help out Minnesota, upstate New York.
Well, again, as we've talked about throughout this pod through many episodes, the connections of upstate New York to the Midwest.
Yeah. As long as they didn't help fucking Wisconsin, everything's good.
Which I can't speak to if they were annexed from this support. Maybe that's for another pod.
Sure.
The Erie Canal was an immediate success. The tolls collected on freight had already exceeded the state's construction debt in its first year of official operation.
That's
wild.
Insane.
That's a lot of money.
Insane.
This is one of those things where it's you are literally operating in the black after a year.
Within a year? And this was, I don't think we said it, but at the time it was the largest public project undertaken by the United States ever at that point. The United States is only not even 100 years old when it started, right? So this was such a huge undertaking, and the fact that they were instantaneougly profitable is insane. That's great. I love this canal.
Yes. I'm going to get you instead of I love New York, I love Erie Canal.
Man. Oh my God.
For you. I'm looking.
I love it.
I'm on
all of our inevitable merch will be canal based. Don't worry. It'll be Speedy on the front, Canal in the back. It'll be great.
Well, be on the lookout for that. Now, by 1828, import duties collected at the New York State Customs supported federal government operations and provided funds for all expenses in Washington except the interest on the national debt. So this thing was paying so much of our government functioning, which is kind of nuts to think about. Although it had been envisioned as primarily a commercial channel for freight boats, passengers also traveled on the canal's packet boats. In 1825, more than 40,000 passengers took advantage of the convenience and beauty of canal travel. Evangelical preachers made their circuits of the upstate region, and the canal served as the last leg of the Underground Railroad ferrying slaves to Buffalo near the Canada-U.S. border. So, the canal's on the right side of history, if we think about that. Mm-hmm. Good on you. Aspiring merchants found that tourists were reliable customers. Vendors moved from boat to boat, peddling items such as books, watches, and fruit, while less scrupulous confidence men, also known as con men, sold remedies for foot corns and passed off counterfeit bills. So,
the senior Rockefeller may have been plying his trade over there.
That scumbag, if you will. Tourists were carried along the northern tour, which ultimately led to the popular honeymoon destination, Niagara Falls, just north of Buffalo. And as someone who lived right near the falls, it is just as majestic as they say. Now, as the canal brought travelers to New York City, it took business away from other ports, such as Philadelphia and Baltimore. Those cities and their states started projects to compete with the Erie Canal. In Pennsylvania, the main line of public works was a combined canal and railroad running west from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh to the Ohio River, which opened in 1834. So they're trying to step their game up. Got to compete with the big dogs. Yeah. In Maryland, the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad went west to Wheeling, West Virginia, and then a part of Virginia, and also on the Ohio River, which was completed in 1853. Listen, you're late to the game, Philly and Baltimore. Lo siento.
I mean, you can't just be like, "Oh shit, we need a canal." Like it took 8 years to fucking dig, like.
Yeah, this is like when like companies start like wheeling out like DEI initiatives, and other companies are like, oh shit, Bausch and Lomb is doing it. Well, we got to do it because they're doing it.
Yep.
Now, the canal played a major role in the growth of Standard Oil, as founder John D. Rockefeller used the canal as a cheaper form of transportation in the summer months when it was not frozen, to get his refined oil from Cleveland to New York City. In the winter months, his only options were the 3 truck lines, the Erie Railroad, the New York Central Railroad, and the Pennsylvania Railroad. And that is the financial impact of the Erie Canal.
Well, just as John D. Rockefeller was moving his oil about the country through the canals, people were also moving about in a migratory nature on the canals. That's not my best transition, but it's what we got. It's what we got.
I thought it was pretty good, actually.
All right. I'll take it. So the migratory impact, the new ethnic Irish communities formed in some towns along its route after completion, as the Irish immigrants were a large portion of the construction labor force, like we talked about, so much so that there's a plaque honoring the canal's construction, which is located in Battery Park in southern Manhattan, which is famously where the ship's coming back from Ellis Island. So immigrants who had been approved to come in, that's where the ship's docked, down in Battery Park. Because so many immigrants traveled on the canal, many genealogists have sought copies of canal passenger lists. And apart from the years 1827 to 29, canal boat operators were not required to record passenger names or report them to New York government. Some passenger lists survive today, and New York State archives and other sources of traveler information are sometimes available. The canal allowed Buffalo itself to grow from just 200 settlers in 1820 to more than 18,000 people by 1840. That's insane. It's an insane amount of growth.
Yeah, like, and if you think about, like, if you're born, like, in Buffalo in 1820, right, and then you're 20 years old, and now there's almost, like, 20,000 people living in your town, that's fucking bonkers, if you think about the explosion.
Yeah. Well, like, it's interesting, too, because when we talked about the oil boom in New York State, that growth in Buffalo, right, kind of tied, like, people came down from Buffalo to capitalize on the oil boom that happened in the southern tier.
Right.
And, like, you wouldn't have had those people able to do that in Buffalo if there hadn't been an Erie Canal. How about that? How about that?
Rob, I don't know if I've ever seen you more excited about a landmark than this landmark right here.
I'm telling you, it's like I was activated when I crossed I crossed the canal for the first time. Like I just like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, and I'm happy that you're happy because it's pretty contagious right now. Like,
sure,
we're here for it. Let's just say it's made an impact on me.
Well, hey, maybe we should talk about the cultural impact.
Listen, I set them up, you knock them down, Rob. That's how this works, baby. So, the cultural impact of the canal. The canal also helped bind the still new nation closer to Britain and Europe. Repeal of Britain's Corn Law resulted in a huge increase in exports of Midwestern wheat to Britain. Trade between the United States and Canada also increased as a result of the repeal and the Reciprocity Free Trade Agreement signed in 1854. Much of this trade flowed along the Erie. Its success also prompted imitation. A rash of canal building followed. So this
often imitated, never
duplicated.
That's the phrase. There we go.
There it is.
There we go.
And the irony of these canals being built as these imitations when you could go to Canal Street and find so many imitations of the real thing.
Wow.
Also, the many technical hurdles that had to overcome made heroes of those whose innovations made the canal possible. This led to an increased public esteem for practical education. Who thought?
Wow.
Like, hey, who knew that if you learned things that you could build things? What?
Yeah,
Stay
man.
in school.
Wow.
That's hilarious. Chicago, among the other Great Lakes cities, recognized the importance of the canal to its economy, and 2 West Loop streets are named Canal and Clinton for canal proponent DeWitt Clinton.
Hey, Chicago, you could have done better than 2 fucking streets. Come on. Give me an Erie Avenue or something. Get the fuck out of here.
There's an Erie Ave in Philly.
All right. See? Hey, Chicago. Philly's doing it.
Philly's doing it. Jump on board, Chi-Town. Now, many notable authors wrote about the canal, including Herman Melville, Francis Trollope, Nathaniel Hawthorne, Harriet Beecher Stowe, Mark Twain, Samuel Hopkins Adams, and the Marquis de Lafayette. That's a lot of people. Wow. And many tales and songs were written about life on the canal. This was the South Beach of upstate New York, baby. Now, the Erie Canal changed property law in New York. Most importantly, it expanded the government's right to take property. Boo. Cases surrounding the newly built Erie Canal expanded condemnation theory to permit canal builders to appropriate private land and broaden the meaning of public use in the Fifth Amendment to the United States Constitution. The canal also had an impact on water access jurisprudence as well as nuisance law. So this is like the OG Barclays Center. Right? This is upstate New York's Barclays Center.
I believe we didn't mention it, but Jay-Z had a significant stake in the Erie Canal, right?
Yeah. He those because there were songs written about life on the canal, and he definitely penned a song or two about that old canal.
It's one of the tracks that didn't put it on the blueprint. I think it just didn't make it on the album.
That's hilarious. Well, that was then. And Rob, why don't you tell us a little bit about now? What's the canal up to today?
Well, today the canals, again, I think we talked about this earlier, but the old Day Peckinpah was the last regularly scheduled hauler that ended its service in 1994. Today, the Erie Canal is primarily used by recreational vessels, though it remains served by several commercial barge towing companies. The canal is open to small craft, some larger vessels, from May through November each year. During winter, water is drained from parts of the canal for maintenance. The Champlain Canal, Lake Champlain, and the Chambly Canal, and Richelieu River in Canada from the lakes to Locks Passage, making a tourist attraction of the former waterway linking eastern Canada to the Erie Canal. In 2006, recreational boating fees were eliminated to attract more visitors. And I actually read an article from, I think, The Atlantic that was written, I want to say it was 2008, and it was this guy who grew up in New York and is like, I want to fucking experience the canal, which I think is the way my life is going to go. It's pretty soon. But he rented, this is a thing you could do at the time, I don't know if you can do it anymore, but he rented a canal boat that's like specifically built for like taking canal trips, and he picked up the boat, rode up the canal, or over on the canal. It doesn't really go up. He rode the canal for I think like 2 weeks, and it sounded delightful.
That sounds pretty cool. I could get into that.
When you're in the lock, like, it takes up to 40 minutes, so you just sit there and you talk with the guy operating the lock. Like, it's sounded like a great way to spend a couple weeks. But like, it's, again, there's like this kind of tourism aspect to it. And it's a destination for tourists from all over the world. It's inspired guidebooks dedicated to exploring the waterway. An Erie Canal Cruise Company based in Herkimer operates from mid-May until mid-October with daily cruises. If you don't want to rent your own goddamn boat, just go on a day cruise.
Sure.
And it goes through the history of the canal and also takes passengers through Lock 18. Aside from transportation, numerous businesses, farms, factories, and communities alongside its banks still utilize the canal's waters for other purposes, such as irrigation for farmland, hydroelectricity, research, industry, and get this, even drinking. So use of the canal system has an estimated total economic impact of $6.2 billion annually, which ain't too bad for an over 100-year-old ditch.
What a great way to describe that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, there's far worse things that someone has built and that has turned out less of a profit, whereas this is making some scratch here. Hey, I'll take one of those billions.
Yeah.
Give me a billy, and my life will be different. There you go. That's the canal, baby.
Look, I feel like we're gonna do maybe 4 more episodes on the canal. I'll find a way to work it in. I like everything we talk about, but I just love. I don't know. I just love the canal. I love the canal.
Rob, we like what we like, man.
It's
you
true.
know what I mean?
It's true.
So
look, maybe we'll do the Chenango Canal next or something. We'll break it up. We'll do other canals, but I feel like the spirit of the Erie Canal is going to be with me from here on out. From here on out.
Listen, I'm happy you found it, man.
Me too.
Some people go through their whole lives not finding the canal, the canal for them, and you, sir, you got yourself a canal, dog. I ain't mad at you for that.
There you go.
Wait,
just like I found the canal, what are some things you can maybe help our speedy freaks find that they might also enjoy with almost too much enthusiasm? Almost too much enthusiasm.
Right.
Not totally too much.
All right, well, Rob, check this out. Let's say that you're on a barge floating down the canal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're just, you're penning away on your memoir, right? And you're just contemplating life, and you want to take a break from it, right? Let's say you're looking for something to laugh at. You want to enjoy some comedy. Well, I got something for you. While you're upstate on the Erie Canal, listen to Upstate Understandings. It's a comedy album that I did. I performed this album, and you should go listen to it. produced by Rob Adler, Erie Canal enthusiast. And it is something that you can pick up at jimsearch.bandcamp.com. So get over there, buy one, and then after that, buy another one while you're floating down the canal. Rob, they're on the canal right now. They just finished listening to Upstate Understandings. They've got a nice glass of Chardonnay, and it's swilling around in the glass. Mm-hmm. And they're like, I need some music to accompany my boat ride. Can you help them out with that?
Look, you're on the canal, but you just realized that when you're back from your luxurious canal vacation, you just took on a gig to dig a 350-mile long ditch, and you don't know how you're going to do it. You have no ditch digging experience. It inevitably will be a canal, that's a whole nother problem. You don't even know how to get water into it.
Right.
What you're going to do is you're going to go get an album called New York Sticky. It's available at brokenfrequency.bandcamp.com. You're going to throw that album on, and it's going to help you think. It's going to help you percolate some ideas. Mm-hmm. You're going to have this project done in no time, right? I presume it's good. Something that's good to have on while you're digging. I've never tried it personally, but I feel like it's going to help time and dirt fly. Like you're going to be heaving and hoeing. I just did the heave hoe motion for no one other than Jim because no one can see it, but Jim can. And no regrets. And you'll have no regrets if you get this album and Jim's album.
That's right, baby.
And while you're at it, you should also head on over to Apple Podcasts to subscribe, rate, and review our show. Like Jim said up at the top, throw in a recommendation. If you want us to cover the Erie Canal again, because I know everyone does, just throw it in the comments there and help me convince Jim to do a follow-up episode as soon as possible.
It's going to be called, Canal Revisited.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And we just might talk about it. If you want to throw in something that's not canal related, it's fine. We can do that too. That's cool. I'll permit it. I will permit it.
I'll let it fly.
Having said that, I've got a closing transition in true Understanding Upstate fashion. Jim, are you ready to get out of here?
I think so. I think I'm ready to roll.
All right, well, let's do it. We went up the canal, but now it's time to head down river and get on out of here.
Holy moly, guacamole. It doesn't get better than that. Now, listen, folks.
Oh, God, I did it again. I closed us out before I'm going to leave it in this time because I keep making this mistake. I've done this. This is at least the second, if not the third time I've done this to Jim. We've missed our patented riddle because I'm just flying too fast.
We're flying close to the sun here. Well, listen, let's just say there will be quite the rhyme scheme ahead of us for next week. I'll tell you that. That's what I got for you off the cuff here.
There we go. Well, I've already embarrassed myself and fucked up our rhythm, so let's just... Again, I'm leaving it in.
Fuck
the
that.
people,
Leave it.
Speedy Freaks need to know that I'm just not the best co-host sometimes.
That's not true. I'm not here for that. I won't
hey,
entertain that.
they can leave it in the comments. It's just
and then
chime
I'll go
in.
To their house.
Chime in.
I'll go to their house. I'll go where they live.
I'll go to their house provided it's off the Erie Canal. On that note.
All right. We're going to get out of here, man.
We'll see you guys next week.
All right. Peace. Understanding Upstate is a podcast hosted by Jim Search and Rob Adler, edited by Rob Adler, and music from Regal Monk.